Get forcefully banned out. They probably squeamed a little bit. Would have wanted that on their side, maybe. And he gets his jungler right away.
Yeah. They really targeted Meteos heavily
Yep.
in this pick and ban phase. Lucian would still be on the board, but that's not necessarily what Sneaky has been tunneling on. We know sustain supports are much stronger. There's no need to take a jungler very early unless they just want to do the rest of their picks via counter picks. This will really kind of tell us what tier list of champions Cloud9 has put together in their heads.
Hive brings out Ziggs. Safe play in the middle with some siege to himself. Falls onto the safe play of Renekton. So not too much shown by the hand to C9. Like you said, comfort. We brought in with the patch changes.
Balls is a great Renekton player, and Renekton has relatively, in power, been buffed this patch, just because there is more likely to be an isolated lane scenario in the top lane, because more teams will be unwilling to swap up there because it costs them more in Dragon Gold if they give that up. And lane bullying is absolutely important up there, especially since he has sustain built into his kit as well. And then the Ziggs is twofold. It shoves in lanes, it also denies the pick from Prawley.
Tristana being picked up once again.
Damn.
This is going to be for Robert X. Lee this time. This is also with Lucian up on the board. One of the most picked 80 carries at the moment.
So they picked
everybody
Tristana.
Up on the board.
They picked Tristana over every 80 carry in League of Legends. So no Caitlyn, no Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw was actually banned in pretty much every single OGN game. And immediately they pick a stronger laner in Caitlyn.
One of the favorites of getting that Infinity Edge in her build and really having a power spike just from how she can build. One of the only, not only I should say, but one of the ones that can favor an eye edge first. Sneaky knows he could have a strong lane here. We see that Prawley's going to be on Yasuo this time.
Yeah.
Is that Sona? Yes, it is.
An interesting thing, Tristana's ult can be Yasuo ulted on top of.
Oh, yeah,
which
displacement.
is kind of cool.
Right.
If they want to go with that. So giving a little bit of extra Yasuo synergy. Prawley liking the AD mids with the Athene's Unholy Grail nerf. Might be looking to attack Ziggs a little bit. And this support pick by Lemon will be interesting. If they go with Thresh, they might end up losing the sustain battle if they get hit by a few of those explosive shots, but the kill potential would be higher. This, though, gives them a lot more kiting ability.
Very safe game there. A lot of AD coming out of the side of compLexity on this. Looks like they have a team that isn't going to be really able to activate on anything in those early games. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but that's a very squishy bottom lane to start with.
Yeah, little curious about compLexity's overall team composition. They are a team that has typically won only when they pull far ahead in the early game, because they do have good map movements and know how to close out games and make plays when they have big gold leads. But it's very hard for them to get a big gold lead when they're weaker in all three lanes early in the game.
Yeah.
So they're kind of at the mercy of Cloud9 in this one.
It's something that hurts coming out of Champion Select when you kind of feel that sinking, knowing the lanes are right up and better than you right away. The game's about to get underway. We'll see if that's all true. So let's gaze into the future and see who will win. According to you, at LOLesports.com, 85% of you say it's going to be Cloud9.
As long as it's not over 90%, safe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be seeing that down. Sure. If you see things going south for Cloud9, though, update your vote by tweeting us at LOLesports. Use the hashtag COLWin or C9Win. We'll be checking that back to get real-time reactions. Or if Cloud9 is winning, just keep voting for them. Push that over 85%.
It's going to be a tough game for Cloud9 or for compLexity. I don't see Cloud9 really letting themselves fall into any mistakes. Last time we saw Meteos go in with the Kazakhs in the game we talk about where compLexity got the early triple kill. He was pretty low on health. It's kind of an unnatural thing for Meteos to do, go into a gank when it may not work. And
that was also in week 1, where Cloud9 was very recently reacclimating themselves to high in the mid lane. We do have to keep that in mind.
True.
The lung surgery that he had in the offseason, and the fact that they played with Link and then back with High. It's been a bit of a recovery process.
All right, game 2 of week 6, I should say.
Yeah.
As we get on compLexity coming off the blue side, Cloud9 coming off of red. We get this one onto the Rift. You can see Elimination getting the cuff stretched out. And he's ready to play. Spell Thieves on both of the supports, going to be bringing in some cash money in the early game. And we see, again, Balls likes the Doran's Blade as well to Westrice's shield.
Yeah, well, it's the aggression of Renekton. He holds the early game edge so clearly over Shyvana
works.
that he just wants it for the AD. I'm actually a little surprised we're not seeing longsword Renekton's, because that would build into the Tiamat fast.
Right.
If they're really bullying that heavily. But of course, that would make them weaker to ganks, and the early game ganks of Kez are quite potent.
Seeing them getting themselves back into a very good situation. Kez can make the moves to get himself back in the jungle if he's been put behind. A very smart jungler. Good addition to complexity. We'll see if they can use that to get themselves back up in the standings. Looking into this game, Cloud9 7-5. Complexity is 3-9. Looking to put a win in the column. Elimination on Morgana this time definitely won't make it easy in the duo lane. Looks like we are going to get that standard matchup. The early sweeper clear. Very nicely placed. Could have been anywhere.
It makes the invade much more possible or dangerous. It really forces complexity into a big sense of unease, and they'll have to do some guesswork.
1 CS for Sneaky. He's feeling pretty good. 73-27. It's starting to shift. People remember last game.
1 CS not changing people's minds, for sure. And last game we mentioned how TSM had lost to every team above them in the standings and beaten every team below them.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons Cloud9 still appears as such a strong team is against teams in the top 5 of the LCS. So that's kind of the cool kids club that's happened in this split. They're 5-3. They're actually doing very well against the good teams.
Right.
It's the teams at the bottom they've been struggling against. They've lost to Complexity and they've lost to EG, which puts them in the middle of the pack.
Right.
It's the consistency that Cloud9 needs to reattain if they want to make the top of the standings.
Yeah.
And those types of things start by beating Complexity up.
And you can almost see that with the times of what happened in this last game. Cloud9 did lose, but it took Complexity 25 minutes after their first inhibitor to close out the game. It's a little longer than usual, so Cloud9 still put up a fight. They still knew how to keep themselves in the game. It could be harder if they get the edge first. Meteos on the red buff. He's going to be getting that for himself. 2 buffs to each jungler now. Let's see if they can make an impact here coming out of the jungle. Kaz a little bit slower here, and it's going to be top lane already for Meteos.
A little bit strange here. Meteos is incredibly low.
Yeah, saw that.
Right now on Evelynn. And if he would have walked into that brush and there was an Elise laying in wait, it would have been death. But because of the early ward they put, they knew where Kez started. So they know Kez is in the red jungle, meaning he's safe to gank at low health if Westrice overcommits. But with the place the wave is, this just looks like wasted time.
And Renekton on full fury, a dangerous thing to be looking at just out of range. God, I think any Renekton player can relate to the W just there.
They may have been able to force the flash if that would have landed as a stun. Another bind on Bubba.
Whew, Sona taking some good hits in the early game, not the tankiest.
Yeah, do have to note that Bubba has went with the Spell Thief's Edge on Sona, and one of the reasons he is so aggressively pressing up is he's trying to get his stacks out. So he wants to get the gold generation, the extra damage from the Spell Thief's Edge harassment passive. And he's getting a little bit punished for it health-wise, but obviously because he has sustain, he hasn't died yet.
Probably trying to stay safe. One wall there, and actually very nice. It's going to keep the lane from pushing as well, so that works nicely in his favor. So much harass coming in from high. Loves playing that aggressive early game.
Yeah, look at the sustain. Bubba back at full health already.
This is working out very well for them. Bubba hasn't even chugged the mana potion, so they can kind of stay here and trade back and forth. Sustain is definitely getting some love in the bot lane recently.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing here with Sona. As long as they're not getting bursted out, they will out-sustain, and Sneaky hasn't built lifesteal items yet. So even though that trade looked so heavy-handed, Robert X. Lee is going to be healing up pretty soon now, and Sneaky's having a little bit of trouble.
As bad as this looks in the mid lane.
Oh! The CS is close.
Yeah, CS is close. Wow, that was very aggressive from Prolly. Meteos in the right place at the right time. Kez couldn't even get in the initiation.
Whoopsie daisy. That was a bad move. Going forward after being so crushed in the lane, and Meteos just with exquisite timing on Eve there. Makes the counter gank not a real possibility.
Big for him. You can see even with going down, yeah, he stayed up in CS, but complexity is going to have to worry about pink wards as well. Sinking money into that just out of base. Probably is going to have to keep safe from Meteos and more ganks. Push down in the bottom lane, staying sustained. But that range is giving Sneaky a bit of an advantage here. 38-34, pretty even still.
Yeah, but this is not the type of game complexity wins. Typically, we talk about it right from the picks and bans. They pick lanes that are typically going to be in danger or get bullied early, and then what moves are complexity really going to make? Cloud9 is absolutely at home. Back when they were successful, or the most successful, it was in the game where they could just pick lane bullies, rely on their laning power, and then let Meteos make very smart, efficient decisions and be kind of that carry jungler that everyone had him first picked in fantasy because that's what they're expecting this split.
Hey, don't rag on me.
Hasn't happened to Did you pick Meteos first?
Maybe.
All right.
I did. 6 minutes into this one, that first kill hovering on the side of Cloud9, giving about 1,000 gold lead. Whoa! Dragon's Descent. Some quick sixes here in the top lane. They're fighting back and forth. I don't know if Westrice really wanted to do that. Dragon's Descent in, flash out.
So that happened.
Oops.
Yep, burns his flash for a couple CS.
How do you repair that?
Yeah.
Do you call the jungler up? Because now
no.
you know that lane is pretty much in his favor.
You don't. We saw Glebe talking about it last game. Once they lost early on, he was saying, yeah, I mean, we could have called our jungler down for a game.
Yeah.
But then Vi could have been there and it would have been turned around, especially against an Eve who they have almost no vision of. He's got to fend for himself.
Yeah.
And without a flash, it becomes even more difficult.
The flash, he was also down almost 20 CS on that engage, so you got to know that Renekton's going to hurt. Coming back into the lane, the Giants belts, the thing to have, I guess, right now. We'll see. Coming around the backside, those pink wards have not been utilized in the bottom lane, rather, I should say, purchased. Robert X. Lee with these little sidestep hops really working for him.
Yeah, that binding was perfectly positioned by Lemon Nation. If it wasn't for the flash of Robert X. Lee, it was death. Can he get the blue?
So close. Uh-oh. So close. Goes the Kez, though.
He just straight up timed that one. He thought...
Needed him, probably.
Because Cloud9 knew exactly when it had started as well, it was a rough guess by High. Just about gave it to him. They would have really loved to have a blue buff on Meteos as well, so he could get a lower cooldown on his Eve ultimate as well as just spam hate spikes more in the jungle. But, so close.
CS as well, close in the mid and the AD carries. Really, it's going to be balls here to give Cloud9 the upper hand. Got to look at both of these compositions as well. Everybody kind of wants to go for damage. It's going to be perfect for the objective fights. High just throwing in Mega Inferno bombs as the rest of Complexity tries to get into the middle. Could be dangerous. Like we said, that early lead is a necessity for Complexity.
Yeah, and I don't think they're getting any closer to having an advantage in this game, especially looking at these item builds. It appears like Robert X. Lee is going Static Shiv with his first item, which is not going to help against Caitlyn's Infinity Edge Rush. Generally, your Static Shiv or Zeal type item comes after your big AD item.
Right.
And it also doesn't give any early lifesteal for Robert X. Lee.
Very plateaued on damage for sure.
Yeah.
Hit a crit, it'll help, but you're not going to crit with
But
any
if they catch something
damage.
like this.
Oh, Lemon Nation! Oh, yeah, okay. I was going to say, it almost worked, but they ping-pong back and forth, and he does get himself a kill. So maybe he can just finish the item he needs.
It's about if level 5 or 6 Sona walks into the brush against 3 people. Kills happen.
Yeah.
So a really nice lay-in wait by Complexity, knowing Lemon Nation's patterns. A little bit telegraphed right there. Lemon Nation wanted to get ward control in that brush, and Complexity saw it coming.
This is good. This means Complexity can now hold these positions. They're somewhat putting pink wards down. It's going to slow Meteos down a little bit, and that's exactly what they need. Westrice is doing well for himself in HP, but he's still hurting on that farm, and it's going to come big when they need the team to get together. Robert actually a little harassed there. Sneaky going to push this one out, try to deny some CS maybe.
Yeah, mainly the timing. It means they can shove in the lane generally before Robert X. Lee gets back. So really timely ace in the hole based on the ward control in the lane brush, hopefully making up a little bit for Lemon Nation getting caught out of position.
He did just finish the Static Shiv. It looks like they will not worry about bottom lane either. They are going straight to mid here. They're going to try to create their own pressure in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be... They obviously rely on the sustain of Sona, so they don't need the lifesteal.
Right.
Well, Meteos gets spotted by Westrice and has to skedaddle.
Oh, maybe, possibly. He's got the flash. He's so waiting on this one. He just wanted to draw a little more pressure. He gets out, though, has to blow that. Westrice still very hurt in the top lane. You can see it. They're calling a lot of Complexity members there as well. 3 members in the top lane. They put Trist. Robert X. Lee against Ziggs in mid now.
So some lane swaps, yeah, by Complexity. Probably now putting himself into a 1v2, meaning I don't think there's any way he defends this turret properly. Maybe Robert X. Lee can shove along the same lines as High and get some farm back, but he's also not going to have much immediate power in the mid lane. It looks like compLexity has downgraded both of their lanes by swapping right here, and they're going to probably lose this turret.
Probably can't do much but put up a wall after that. It's a very low or very high cooldown. Goes down, knows it's going to be the lane going down, so he's there for the farm, but now this is to be pushed in High's face. It's just going to give him more farm if they don't have to move or decide to do anything.
Not good moves by compLexity so far, putting themselves in this 2,000 gold deficit despite the nice catch on Elimination, and the laning supremacy of Cloud9 will continue here.
And it looks like they know it as well. Even being stronger, they want to hold this lead very slightly. Nothing with Dragon yet. 4.10 has definitely shown us the early Dragons, not so much anymore. The standard lane slowing things down as well. Pressure for Prolly. Just trying to get sneaky to not back. He is 9-7, so he can take a few shots and try to deny this CS. But it looks like compLexity, there we go.
Yeah, they're hoping for vision control around Dragon, and they hope that they went back at the right time so the Meteos couldn't help them. They may be able to burst this one down fast enough, and Lemonation's a little bit squeamish about checking these brushes, so it was very good timing by compLexity to get in there.
Definitely see where that kind of static shiv kind of comes in. Oh, Kaz, looking dangerous on this one. Really getting that E attack out, and then you get the static shiv damage on your auto attack. So it's a little more, but like you said, not having full damage for a fight is very scary. Trist still looking to ramp up, though.
And considering that Trist had the static shiv, and they're losing top lane, and they're down in gold, and they're missing their bottom lane turret, the fact that they just straight up got an uncontested Dragon is incredibly impressive by compLexity. Or it's just a really big failure by Cloud9. Yeah. That's probably the bigger story here. They should have had ward control, and they should have timed their backs better, because a Dragon like that against a team that is behind cannot happen if they want to become a #1 team in North America.
Whoa, that static shiv definitely putting on a little extra damage with that auto attack. Elimination down to half HP from a few shots in that explosive shot burning down. Pink wards still on the minds of compLexity to keep eyes on Meteos, but they got to get them down. Being in inventory is not helping too much, and it looks like Kez is trying to do that right now as they head out towards blue. Cloud9 with that timer as well.
So Kez actually tracking Meteos quite well right now. Oh no! Stolen by Prolly.
That's not going to be a satchel charge as well. No rubber duckers will be had here. The heal goes out. He was kind of just waiting. He knew his limits. Good pressure by Prolly, though. compLexity's still trying to make moves. Sometimes something that gets them in trouble when they're down in gold.
So quite honestly, we criticized it when it happened. Prolly going down to the bottom lane and Robert coming to the mid lane. Has worked out great for compLexity. Prolly has gotten isolated things against Sneaky where he can push him in. And he's playing very comfortably. It's kind of switching up their playstyle to something Cloud9 hasn't necessarily faced in a little while, because who in the right mind would swap Yasuo bottom against two people? But Cloud9 decided to match by keeping the Caitlyn on the Trist. They want to try and deny Robert X. Lee's Trist farm. As far as Robert farming on Trist in mid lane, if it's a 1v2, he'll get more farm. And Cloud9 swapped a little late. They ended up losing on both sides of it, and compLexity's somewhat coming back here.
It's a quite interesting Shiv bro build they got going on here. Oh my gosh, no, he flashes too! Oh, whoops, there's an error. But they do save him, he gets out alive. Very back and forth. When you're dodging that many skill shots, what do? Gotta try to get in front of all of them.
Apparently. Bubba dodging so well he can't even take one when he wants to. Flashing through the ace in the hole. Oh dear. That really hurts their mid lane chances here, knowing the flash is down on Sona. But Prolly's getting the side turret.
Still working that blue buff that he stole from High just a little bit ago. But that doesn't stop them from trading turrets in mid and bottom lane. That's 2 for Cloud9 right now. Trying to open up the map. They have the last one in the top lane. And guess where they're going?
Yep. They're trying to get all 3 down. They're trying to regain control. They do not want this game to descend into chaos like their last one did against compLexity. They want to shore up their play, be as crisp as possible, and not make sloppy plays like they've made a few against compLexity in the past.
compLexity just throws another 300 into the pink wards, placed out by Bubba Dub towards the dragon area, trying to get a little bit of pressure for themselves. And they do clean that up. Still got some time on dragon, like we were saying. We do see that Athene has been built up by High. Still goes with that for the regen, helping himself out. But the static shivs, pretty interesting for Prolly and Robert X. Lee here. A little extra damage added in the fight, but right now, Prolly's using that to push.
Yeah, really good amount of farm that Prawley's been able to pick up since leaving the mid lane. The 80 carries and mids are very adequately farmed, and considering the Renekton versus Shyvana matchup, which looked so terrible for Westrice early, being down only 30 CS at the 16-minute mark, and now that he's hit level 11, if he can complete his Sunfire Cape, which he has enough gold to, his strength will be somewhat adequate to that of Balls. Not looking that bad, considering the very dire-looking opening.
Right. Do have to take note, though, a second time we're seeing Renekton Shyvana match up Doran's Blade to Shyvana's Doran Shield. Renekton, again, coming out on top, so not many changes there. We'll see if Dire Westrice can make an impact in the team fights, because they're definitely not getting out of a mistake early game on Cloud9. Held solid here. Probably, once again, going in hard, but he kind of waits on this one, making sure they have the initiation that they want. And that was very good control and not going too hard just for Balls.
They go too far in, Meteos would have been able to turn.
No.
And they were very respectful of the Eve. They didn't use any of their cooldowns, but they did get the ultimate of Balls. Probably, though, sticking around too long.
Oh, that's exactly what they were worried about. You think about it, it's definitely going to happen. A few more hate spikes, the flash happens. But it's also going to be the rotation here coming from the middle lane. High throws down the Mega Inferno. Kez getting hit up. He flashes into the wall. One more hate spike. The repel's bringing him only to the few minions that are near. Great job, Balls, getting the kill.
Just like old times for Cloud9.
What just happened?
That too.
All right. All right.
Getting back to the bottom lane, though. Balls and Meteos just winning out in the 1v2 and 2v2 situations. Balls looking to be that pillar of strength that Meteos can go to, meaning any 2v2 that Meteos goes into in that spot, they will have an edge because he knows how far ahead Balls is. It really allows them to manipulate the power. I don't even know what happened mid lane, just a big misplay from Robert X. Lee.
Trying to go, we can see probably getting a little too feeling secure.
Exactly, he felt secure because Balls' ultimate was already down, but he no longer had Kez backing him up. And it just meant that the level 10 Evelyn basically could have taken out Prawley by himself, but the Renekton was there just for the backup. This was curious. So he...
Oh, he jumped the bomb. He was going to die from the bomb on the backside. But he could have jumped up to the river brush and not. I don't know. There's a whole lot of valiant effort.
I think he thought he was dead because High came behind him.
Right.
And he jumped in at the hope of getting a kill.
Good replay there. Definitely sorted out a bit.
But with another turret, look at the gold. It's still close.
It is. It is only 8,000 gold difference in anybody's game gold difference. Infinity Edge is very close for Robert X. Lee. Different. Like we said, 4.10 is going to bring us some new pages in the book to be written here. And Robert goes for his attack speed crit item before that damage item. See if it works out in the long run, because that's where Triss is the best.
One thing that's very strange is, where is the map pressure from Cloud9? It's something that used to be second nature for them. They would have so much control. Yet, we look at the game now. compLexity is making all these mistakes, right? But they have the map pressure. They have board coverage in the blue buff. They just pressure the top turret. They get an uncontested dragon. And they're actually, after this, going to be ahead on gold by 100. What? compLexity is winning right now against Cloud9.
Wow.
Because they scale better late game, too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Game-changing Yasuo plays. Like we said, you can have Robert X. Lee or Westrice procking those out, and Prawley himself. A lot of fights to be had here. And right now, Cloud9, like you said, doesn't have the pressure to act on them. Probably may be focused in the bottom lane a few times, but the team is moving off the ball right now for compLexity. 20 minutes in, tying up the game at 4-1, so they're doing it by avoiding Cloud9.
Yeah. For the most part, I mean, and when Infinity Edge gets completed onto Robert X. Lee, he's going to be very powerful. He didn't go for that Blade of the Ruined King build to try and get him through the mid game. He's going straight for the late game, and he's actually getting pretty close to that point. About another 600 gold, and he can complete his Infinity Edge on Tristana.
Little harass, good movement by Kez. Oh, okay. Still missed out one ward. An unfortunate incident. So we have
Balls in the top lane. Are they going to try and catch a fight here?
Oh, half HP before you can even enter the fight. Westrice almost going down before his team can react. And it looks like Cloud9 with 3 is pushing off 5 in the mid lane. You can see Yasuo on the right side dispersing on the mini-map. Robert's there as well. That's not really the spot you want to enter a fight. There's no appeal if Robert actually comes in here.
Yeah. They are pushed back right now. The amount of free harass that Westrise took there really hurts their overall map pressure. It's now back in Cloud9's favor. They do not have the ward control, though. And here's a fight.
Robert X. Lee jumps straight into the fight. Flashes out a Soul Shackle. The teleport coming in. Ball's on the backside. Are they going to be able to stop him? Cannot crowd control under the turret. The crescendo was already used. He has free reign in that area. And compLexity is now trying to backtrack to take out Balls. Robert X. Lee is forced to rocket jump over the wall. Balls in another 1v1 situation. The other one was actually a 2v1. They're not even stopping. Low mana here for Cloud9. Can they get the false security? The flash from Westrise. That one connects with the Dragon. And it looks like even though Cloud9 is back and forth, the tug of war is in their favor.
Yeah, what is going on this game? It is just a little bit crazy. It's very reminiscent of the first compLexity Cloud9 game, where both these teams were not playing their A game, but it was close. I think Robert X. Lee was trying to ult Sneaky back into a Yasuo ult, but Prawley was so far back that he couldn't combo. So it wasn't clean, and Westrise came in from the back and still managed to finish off high anyway. While Westrise was trying to fend off the whole team, Balls was also doing the same thing under a turret, which meant when all was said and done, it was a 1-for-1.
Really? No, I'm just kidding. So much chaos right now coming out at the base. The front turrets here leading into the inside of the Nexus is really where all the action going down. compLexity able to fend off. Cloud9 trying to just get them into a false sense of security in each one of these fights. Right now, High's actually a little down on damage. He hasn't gotten a lot of kills in the game. They have the siege pressure, but it'd help if he had a bit more AP as well. Prawley's looking for that second item threshold. Pretty slow game from the standard lane matchup.
Yeah, I'm still very impressed that Robert X. Lee tried to pull like an insect Lee Sin type kick on an 80 carry. He's going to try to rename that one to the Robert X. Lee if he could pull it off successfully. Good lord.
It is true, because you still had Westrise to ult in as well.
A, it didn't work, and B, he burned his flash. But if it did work, that would have been pretty impressive. Because he would have gotten the reset on his jump if they can instantly kill someone, they can just hop right back out.
Favorite thing in the world. Just say, king me. Keep going. All the way. Infinity Edge is finished on him. See where he has that rapid fire if he scaled it up all the way. It's sitting at 4, almost to 5, so we'll get max speed on that, 90%. Just coming at your face, and it's going to hurt. Level 12, and he's up against a level 11 Sneaky, so if he can get in range, it's definitely going to start hurting. Down to the bottom lane, this should still be a turret for Prawley, no problem.
Yeah. What I keep seeing here from Cloud9 is they're not able to pull the trigger on any of their advantages. There's Prawley split pushing off the side lane. Meteos would want to flank and find an initiation. Yeah. They had lane advantages that they were unable to capitalize on. They've gotten a few kills, but they didn't transition those into objectives, and they really need to make something happen. Otherwise, this compLexity team is going to get another victory over Cloud9.
It's kind of, we mentioned it a little bit before, they're both just fight teams. Nobody has that poke. It's got to be right in the middle. Where's the Mega Inferno Bomb coming in? It's actually down. High's going to be hit up. The Soul Shackle's not enough to peel the fight. Kez puts himself in a good spot. A flash from Prawley to save that. Tries to get the ult down. Last breath not working. The shots from Robert X. Lee. He gets headshot on the way in, or it was just a crit. But the red buff now onto Sneaky. The power cord coming out from Bubba Dub in his stash. And it's going to be Meteos and Balls running for the hills.
Oh my god, Riv. This game, 3 for 3, not a clean fight. Westrise starts it by kicking a field goal. He doesn't hit a single person with his Shyvana ultimate, but watch the ultimate of Tristana onto High with the Yasuo. They still pull the combo. Crescendo missed from Bubba completely. Yet Cloud9 was so zoned here. Sneaky was dancing back and forth for most of this fight. Balls is spending most of the time walking around instead of focusing, and because of that, we end up getting this close fight. Sneaky got the crit right before then. Otherwise, this was an ace by compLexity. Even with all of the misplays by compLexity in this fight, they still almost won it. The late game scaling is real for this compLexity team, and they're in position to win this game.
And this is not something that compLexity is known to do. Usually if it's not their lead, it's the falter throughout the game, but now they are holding it, pulling it back 2K, well 1.3K in the lead right now. Things are making an impact.
And compLexity would need to go for this dragon right now. They have mistimed it, but they might just run straight for Baron. They would have had the edge. There was a no Eve, Renekton, or Morgana ult for this one, and they could have fought, but they have just ended up outthinking themselves right here, and it gets checked by Ziggs. Vision. They go now? Would they go now? That would be really smart of them.
All the vision's gone. They're going to peel off that completely. knowing they also walk back through
no,
wards.
Prolly.
Oh, wow, Prolly took the low road. He's going to take some damage as well as everybody else took the high road, staying safe. It's coming down to the line here. 25 minutes into this one. We could actually still have a very long game to go with the amount of fights we're seeing. Onto the turret. Balls looks like he's trying to get some shots on with high on the backside. But it's instantly cleared out there.
Yeah, deep breaths. Everyone's got to calm down here, but they just go again.
Westrice dives in once again. Well, Balls was so separated from the fight. The rubber ducky's down, bumped up, gets hit up, and it looks like they'll be able to get some more off of that crescendo.
Oh.
Knocked away, unfortunately, and Cloud9 is on their heels now. They know they do not have the strength to win these fights.
And Yasuo wasn't in range for Yasuo off that Tristana because it would have been a multiple displacement shot. That could have killed them, but they're low enough. They're just gonna go.
Infinity Edge, Blade of the Rune King chunking this down as well. This should be out of there in just a few. Sneaky could get a headshot over the backside, but it's just too dangerous. The smite goes to Kaz, a very close Peacemaker, however, from Sneaky. And Cloud9 watches Baron go to compLexity.
Yeah, the team fighting potential of compLexity is so high right now, and Cloud9 couldn't pull the trigger in time. Is compLexity Cloud9's kryptonite? Like, seriously, because this could be another win for compLexity over Cloud9.
Lemon Nation doing what he can to put ability power and a needlessly large rod under his belt. Will it be enough if the whole team's dealing damage? Because right now they need to be outputting more. 2,000 gold behind is really all compLexity has needed to squash the lead of Cloud9. The uncontested dragons have been too much for compLexity to get. Slow movement right now, and Cloud9's not even off their side. Really, the wards placed to the bottom side of the map. Let's see if they can get any picks, because nobody's really got the pick comp. This is going to be hard. Meteos can't even do flank-style ganks. It's all just in-your-face 5v5 fights.
And compLexity has actually been the ones initiating all of these. Westrice keeps flying in with Shyvana ults. Robert X. Lee is rocket jumping into Cloud9, and it's not
that's
being
a little crazy.
It's not being punished by Cloud9. They're not able to set up their damage in the right way. High's not able to land the poke. They're not capitalizing off of dark bindings. Sneaky now with the Phantom Dancer is in a much stronger point to maybe crush Westrice as he comes in. But there is so much dive pressure coming in from compLexity with the Sona ults, with the Tristana ults that are being used to attempt to combo with Yasuo.
Oh, that was nice. Oh my gosh, again, Westrice is just on full initiation mode. Sneaky doesn't even get a chance to breathe along with Lemon Nation. They're down instantly, and just off on the side, Meteos has to watch it all happen.
They had 5 with the Baron buff, and holy crap, Westrice ran in right there, and they pulled off the combo. Easy inhibitor, maybe the game.
Westrice's job for the past 3 initiations has been to attack things, get the ult up, and use the ult. They have consistently used it every time it's there.
Wow. That's really the way you describe this game. They now have a 5,000 gold lead, and as seen right there, can obliterate Cloud9 when they come in strong. Flashing over the wall first, and then just Shyvana ulting. Just from the abyss, Westrice comes in, and they wreck Cloud9 when they fly in there. They get the reset on the rocket jump, and the double kill happens for Robert X. Lee. Late game Trist is here, but more importantly, everything is here for compLexity.
They are making moves right now. The train is on the track, and Cloud9 was also on the tracks during that one. 6-3 in turrets, looking to drop one more outside the base to have the map cleared out there, but they've already got the inhibitor turret, so it's going to be one of these side lanes we get on the pressure. With Baron down, the 50-50 vote starts to turn tide again. compLexity is going to be looking for bottom lane.
They have a minute left on the Baron, so they could actually get this one wave at the bottom of the screen you can see of minions, as well as this wave that Prolly is up with, will be reaching the turret at around the same time. And that's a big opportunity for compLexity to make another dive. Westrice isn't there and his teleport's not up, so it's actually an opportunity slightly missed. But they could have gotten 2 inhibitors down here. I think they're just going to take the outer turret for Westrice while the rest of compLexity postures.
Well, it's definitely not initiation. He's not there to jump in.
Yeah. Maybe they'll just use Robert again.
Almost a tell now. Yeah, right? It reminds me of when CLG jumped in, or it's Doublelift jumped in the scrim and did the same thing with Trist. Looks like it's a real thing now in competitive LCS play. 30 minutes into this game, the turrets are dropping fast. The last outer turret goes down for Cloud9. They are breathing deep inside their base right now. Hopefully going to be able to get this last initiation in their favor. I don't think they expected this to happen at all, especially with the picks out of Champions League.
Yeah, another shock here. But, I mean, compLexity did pick better late game things in
Right.
every role, and Cloud9 didn't beat them early game, so now they're paying for it.
So much power. Blade, 3 blades of the Ruin King doing percent damage shots to you. Oh, and Westrice from the backside. He's coming from the base. Looks like they're going to have to
How
walk
did he
out of
get
this.
in there? He came from the mid lane, but he just surprised everyone and then missed an ultimate
Dragon. He just
He is a
swooped
dragon.
in.
They have the sustain of Sona as well. So he also did a substantial amount of damage for Sneaky, who with no lifesteal can't heal back up without really going back to the base. The siege continues.
Robert actually able to get a few shots on the turret. Even with Ziggs, they
Whoa!
cannot keep them off the turret. Sneaky can't even be there as well. Beautiful plays from compLexity, and they are making this hard for Cloud9.
Yeah, really using the Sona sustain to their advantage and punishing Cloud9 for having none. Second inhibitor down for compLexity.
What a great play of the competition.
Oh no!
Going down, Elimination goes in. That's a great Soul Shackle. Is it enough chaos to create an opportunity for Cloud9? There's a kill from Meteos. It's going to be a very chaotic fight. Robert X. Lee, a dodge there out of the ace of the hole. Very nice shutdown coming from him, and it looks like it's High and Sneaky to clean up. Balls is still there as he home guards out.
So a very close fight there.
Get the
but
inhib.
with Probably going down, compLexity has 4 people. They know they have 2 inhibs down, so the game is in their control. compLexity has to make a monumental mistake to
There we
lose
go.
this one at this point. Balls, it was kind of a last-ditch effort here, but not synced up. Balls was falling back during all this because he was low, as Lemon tried to go in and create the initiation, but the follow-up is just not within sync. So much of these Cloud9 fights are them running from point A to point B instead of having targets that they actually need to focus down.
3 of 4 dragons, 1 of 1 barons for compLexity. Very interesting and not something we really would have thought from Cloud9. As we were saying, one of the teams that usually adapts faster than most to a new patch will be the one to turn the game on your head before you even know it happens. And they had a bit of a lead, but they thought that was enough. The resting on their laurels now, it's kind of hurt them.
As funny as it sounds, it all started with that uncontested dragon. They had a 2,000 gold lead, and they just let pressure drop. No matter what they were doing in lane, they weren't necessarily coming together as a team, which is so much what Cloud9 used to be about. And it's the magic they have yet to rekindle in this summer split. No
joke, man. Dragon's worth more gold. compLexity takes it. They know it. And now Cloud9 is left to adapt on the strategy they thought would work coming into this game.
And even though compLexity has played well, they're still not playing optimally. There's been a lot of strange ultimates for Westrice, some great ones. Prawley hasn't played the cleanest Yasuo game, yet he's made a few big plays, and it's just the windows of opportunity. It's like compLexity's always taking shots, Cloud9's never taking shots.
Good ult across the team, getting about 1,500 damage between the members hit. High's still going to start charging out those abilities. And to look at this game, the time is kind of cresting the same thing we saw last time. compLexity got an inhibitor early at 28 minutes. It took them up to 48 minutes to win. So closing out the game still seems to be a little bit of a speed bump for them.
Well, we have an Infinity Edge on Prawley now. If they get a Shyvana ultimate that hits any squishy target on Cloud9, if we're looking at defensive capabilities of the main damage dealers, High and Sneaky, it's over. They're just going to be dead at that point.
Got the Locket of the Iron Solari on from Kez as well, keeping Robert X. Lee that much more alive. He has been the focus of Sneaky's ace in the hole, and everybody's been trying to flash and do what they can to get in front of that. Static Shift, Blade of the Ruin King builds coming in from compLexity as they start to finish out the Randuin's Omen. Got the Zanyas on Lemon as we saw before, to the Mikhail's Crucible. Anything to keep Robert safe.
Yeah, double Thornmails being completed by Cloud9 as well.
Wow.
Hopefully keep Robert X. Lee at bay a little bit, since his only lifesteal is that Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah. Not something that Triss like all that much.
No, but it does seem like compLexity has enough diving potential that they can kind of ignore the Thornmail users. That is at least the hope for compLexity as they go for this final standing inhibitor.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Westrice kind of holding off on using his ultimate.
Yeah,
it's like they're
just flash and use it. Let's go.
Definitely considering. Good spread here. They don't have the one that needs to be the siege clear on the turret. That gives Robert X. Lee some
shots. Might just flash and use it. We know he's a loose cannon, but
Cloud9 initiated on. He's still not going. Get crowd controlled up. Robert X. Lee, they're letting Baron regen them a little bit. Full shot there. Oh, he gets knocked out. One more bomb over the wall, but he jumps the wall. Rocket jump keeping him safe. Baron now to be the assistance.
Now it's the Baron regen and the healing of Sona. It's just a little while that they wait there and they can get all that back, yet the ultimates are burned by Cloud9.
Oh,
so
what a
the
game.
power of Sona and the disengage from complexity right there.
9-9 here, Jat, as they approach the base. Again, they've been living here for the past 5 minutes. They got to get in one more time.
Lifesteal as well on the minion wave. Good as new for complexity. The only ultimate they used was the Tristan ultimate. So now they go.
Field Doctor needs some help.
Oh, Westrice went over to
good satchel.
The other inhibitor.
Nice wall. That could have been a very big initiation. No, Robert actually forced to jump out there. He heals up in about 6 shots.
Westrice trying to take out this other inhibitor right now.
He's big.
Instead of the team going
He is
for
a
it, but they have
dragon.
pressure on all sides. And Cloud9 does not have ultimates to initiate.
complexity is walking their way into Cloud9's base.
Oh.
Sneaky gets rocked. The static Shiv proc as well. And an auto attack to come off of that, I believe, with some hits. We're going to see one more push here. Westrice able to take down the inhibitor by himself here, taking aggression from balls and high at the same time at different points. And I cannot believe complexity is having this much ease in the base.
3 inhibitors down. Cloud9 tried their initiation, they couldn't make it, and now it might be too late when the super minions arrive. Beforehand, the fight.
Almost one Nexus turret. Meteos can't even get in for a good Agony's Embrace. He's forced back to the fountain immediately. That's the ultimate, and the follow-up from Probably once again. The competition easily comes to fruition for complexity as they wait it out. They're going to be on the Nexus. A 37-minute game to take down Cloud9. They're getting hit up quite hard. A lot of chaos, and they cut off 8 minutes from their first game beating